Mr. Boehner, now that the Senate is moving forward to vote on the gun measure, will you commit to the House voting this year on a gun measure, whether it be the Senate bill or something the House produces?
I've made it clear that if the Senate passes a bill, the House will certainly review it. The Judiciary Committee has had hearings. They've had hearings at Energy and Commerce Committee on the mental illness issue. And I would expect that if the Senate does move a bill, that I would send it to the Judiciary Committee for an open hearing and for their deliberations. It's why we have committee structure in the House. I believe that regular order is the appropriate way to move this bill.
So just to follow up, you're not committing to bringing something to the floor for a vote?
I've never been for just a blanket, make a commitment when I don't know what the product is. I fully expect that the House will act on legislation in the coming months. But I want this to go through regular order, and I want the Judiciary Committee to take the time to look at whatever the Senate does produce, assuming they produce something, and have members on both sides review that and make their determinations.
Mr. Speaker, what do you say to the families who are calling for an up or down vote, regardless of if you support it or not? The families are up there. Does that have any effect on this at all?
Well, listen, our hearts and prayers go out to the families of these victims. And I fully expect that the House will act in some way, shape, or form. But to make a blanket commitment without knowing what the underlying bill is, I think would be irresponsible on my part. Senate has to produce a bill, and I've made clear if they produce a bill, we will review it and take it from there.
Is it your sense that things have changed, though? The mindset of people up here has changed about guns?
Listen, the issue of guns has been an issue for the 22 years that I've been in Congress. And the thing that we have to remember is that laws are only as good as our citizens' willingness to obey them. And law-abiding citizens do, in fact, obey them. Criminals don't obey them. In addition to that, we've got a system of laws that are not enforced today. Now, I would think that before we begin to add more rules and regulations on law-abiding citizens, that we at least expect our law enforcement personnel and the Department of Justice to enforce the current law, which they are not doing.